I was born with the Ashura rune, and that was the reason behind my cursed fate. People believed that wherever I went, I brought nothing but ruin. They didn't even hesitate to kill me. Right on the verge of death, some villagers saved me. They treated my wounds, gave me food, and welcomed me into their home. They didn't care at all that I carried the Ashura rune inside me. They were pure-hearted, innocent. And in that same village, I fell in love with a girl named Linda. Her smile made me forget my curse, even if just for a moment. Eventually, the villagers themselves arranged our marriage. That day felt like a golden dream to me, a dream I never wanted to wake from. But dreams rarely last. Mine was destined to shatter. Someone wanted my Ashura rune to fully awaken, and for that, he destroyed the entire village mercilessly, killing every single one of its people. Right in front of me, he dragged my wife by her hair and said, "I hold no personal grudge against you. I'm only following orders because someone wants your Ashura rune to awaken. For that reason, I'm sending you into a pocket dimension where time flows differently than here. I don't know how long it will take for your rune to fully awaken. Maybe 500 years, maybe 1,000. Even I don't know when you'll finally return from that dimension." I was then cast into a hellish prison, a subspace dimension, where I was forced to relive my trauma. Surrounded by the corpses of my family, I spent what felt like an eternity in complete despair, begging for death to end my suffering. But just as I was about to give up, the memory of my wife's final words ignited a fire of pure rage inside me. My sorrow twisted and turned into an unbreakable will for revenge. For 999 years, I fought relentlessly within that prison. Every battle, every scar, honed my hatred. This millennium of torment finally awakened the true potential of my curse, the power of the god of ruin. I shattered the walls of my prison and returned to the real world. 3 thugs had cornered a man, beating him without mercy. Another victim fell to his knees, begging for his life, swearing he had no money to give. Their leader sneered and, with a cruelty that came too easily, declared that if the man had no wealth, then he would take his organs instead. But before their twisted fun could go any further, Ban appeared. His figure was calm, yet imposing enough to still the air. He asked the thugs a single question. What year was it? The leader blinked in confusion, then laughed, mocking him as if Ban were some lunatic. But before his laughter could echo, one of his men struck from behind. The weapon shattered instantly against Ban's body. Ban didn't flinch. His glare sharpened into something deadly. In a single, precise motion, he struck, killing 2 of the thugs without hesitation. Another man trembled, too scared to move. Ban smirked, his eyes glinting with something darker, and asked him a question of his own. The Aden continent had always been shaped by Rune Arts. Among them all, one realm had stood unmatched, the Zoe Kingdom. With overwhelming military might, Zoe reigned as the dominant force of Atun, its name etched deep into legend. Far from that grandeur, Ban now held a captured thug upside down, interrogating him about the unknown monster that had made his life a nightmare. Trembling, the man admitted he had seen it. Ban pressed harder, pointing out that the clothes worn by the figure were garments reserved for Zoe's royal sorcerers. Swearing he dared not lie, the thug confirmed it. Ban demanded more, and so the man dug into old memories. 5 years ago, there had been a mercenary named Chrysorak, working under Lord Daegyol, the master of the mountain bandit den. Chrysorak had spoken of a high-profile job commissioned by a powerful client. The bandits, being outlaws, saw no reason to refuse. Easy money was easy money. The task? To erase a group so thoroughly that no trace remained. The bandits obeyed. They slaughtered without restraint, leaving corpses so mangled they had to burn the bodies just to hide the evidence. When it was over, the purple-haired sorcerer paid them cleanly and vanished. Ban's voice cut through like a blade. Among those corpses, was there a girl with short orange hair? The thug hesitated, then admitted yes. Her beauty had made her stand out, even among the dead. And he muttered that, had she been alive, she would have fetched a fortune as a slave. Those words lit Ban's fury. He struck the man hard, silencing him before his vile tongue could speak another word. Meanwhile, misery thrived within Daegyol's bandit den. Captives, shackled and broken, were forced into labor. Defiance was punished with shattered ankles. The bandits mocked them, calling them fresh stock, laughing cruelly as they imagined the prices their suffering would fetch. Amid the cruelty, one bandit swaggered in with alcohol, demanding the gates be opened. He bragged of the fine drink he had secured. That distraction was the opening Ban had been waiting for. He struck. From the shadows, he ambushed a guard, taking him down with ruthless precision. Another rushed him, but Ban met the attack head-on, moving with controlled fury. Demands for answers filled the air, but Ban's cold glare silenced them. He warned them that in his presence, no one spoke without permission. With brutal finality, he severed the head of one guard and carried it into the den. The sight froze the bandits in stunned silence. At the heart of their lair, Ban stood tall. He demanded their leader, Daegyal. The atmosphere shifted. Laughter gave way to unease, but the noise died when a single figure stepped forward. Daegyal, master of the den. His presence alone carried weight. He ordered his men to stand down. They protested, but Daegyal silenced them with a single command, reminding them that Ban was no ordinary intruder. He recognized him instantly, as a sorcerer born with Rune Arts, just like himself. Facing Ban directly, Daegyal asked what business he had with him. Ban's answer was sharp, cold. He revealed that 5 years ago, a sorcerer from Zoe had commissioned work from Daegyal through a mercenary named Kursorak. Daegyal smirked, impressed by how much Ban had already uncovered. He leaned in, curious, and asked what Ban planned to do with such knowledge. Ban's voice cut like steel. Tell me where Kursorak is. Do that, and I'll spare this entire den. Daegyal's lips curled into a false agreement, but his eyes betrayed him. With a sudden sneer, he lunged, striking without warning. His words dripped with malice. He would gladly tell Ban the truth, carved into his corpse. The attack hit with crushing force, knocking Ban back. Fury welled up inside him. He realized quickly, words would get him nowhere with this man. With a surge of resolve, he retaliated. His fist drove deep into Daegyal's stomach, and the bandit lord coughed blood, rage twisting his expression. He cursed Ban, furious at the audacity of the blow. Then, with a roar, Daegyal summoned a rune blade, its edge glowing with lethal power. He taunted Ban, spitting out promises of agony. He claimed that once the pain overtook him, Ban wouldn't even move a single step. But as the rune blade cut forward, Ban still moved. The sight rattled Daegyal. He demanded answers. How could Ban endure such a strike without faltering? Ban's smirk widened, almost beast-like. To him, this level of pain was laughable. Compared to what he had endured, Daegyal's attack was nothing more than an annoyance. The bandit lord laughed back, acknowledging the fire burning within the boy. He prepared to unleash his full power. With overwhelming force, Ban delivered a single, crushing punch. The impact shook the den itself. Daegyal's body crumbled beneath the blow. His reign ended in an instant. Ban turned to the stunned bandits who remained. His cold challenge echoed through the silence. Not long after, the ground was littered with corpses. Ban's wrath carved a path of death through the den, leaving behind nothing but a mountain of bodies. Only one man remained, trembling before him. Ban questioned him sharply. Was Kursorak in Nordia Kingdom? The survivor stammered out confirmation, swearing it was true. Hope flickered in his eyes as he begged to be spared, reminding Ban of the promise he thought he had made. He mocked the idea, asking when he had ever said such a thing. Then, with ruthless finality, he struck him down. His voice was cold. The very idea of leaving one alive after slaughtering the rest had been nothing but a cruel joke. Ban turned his gaze forward, clarity in his eyes. He admitted he wanted nothing more than to storm directly into Zoe Kingdom itself. But he couldn't move on the word of a bandit alone. He resolved to find Kursorak with his own hands. His thoughts lingered on Linda, on his uncle and aunt, and on everyone waiting for him. To them, he dedicated this small act of vengeance. He admitted his artistry of revenge was lacking, and even if they weren't impressed, he asked them to accept it for now. For his revenge had only just begun, and his first true destination would be Nordia Kingdom. With grim resolve, Ban hurled a torch onto the mountain of corpses. Flames devoured the den, its walls of cruelty collapsing into ash. For Ban, this was only the beginning. The scene shifted. On the streets of Nordia's guild quarter, Ban was seen capturing men, beating information out of their trembling voices. From their lips, he learned of a woman, Anna Dolton, the #1 information dealer in Nordia's black market. She knew everything worth knowing. Yet these men had delayed, wasting his time. Enraged, Ban cut them down, leaving behind a road paved with corpses. His voice was cold as he muttered that they should have spoken earlier. Without hesitation, he set out in search of Anna Dolton. He reminded himself, there was no time to waste. Yesterday's disaster had taught him that. One day earlier, Ban had trained his mana control. At first it seemed fine, until it spiraled out of control. He knew the truth well. If mana ran rampant within a sorcerer, the body would not survive. The energy, invisible but ever-present, was drawn into the vessel of a sorcerer's body. But if that vessel lost control, it meant only one thing: destruction. Ban remembered the grim reality. Sorcerers who lost control exploded along with their mana. The only way to stop it was sealing the flow immediately, and so he had done just that. The scene returned to the present. Ban approached Anna Dalton's hideout, his mind heavy with thoughts of his fragile state. Suddenly, a massive figure blocked his path. Charlotte, only 18, yet towering and broad as a wall. Ban eyed him without concern and demanded passage. Charlotte warned him to turn back. Anna was inside, and no one passed without her consent. That was all Ban needed to hear. With a single powerful punch, he sent Charlotte crashing to the ground. He told the giant to rest for a while, then stepped inside. Inside, Anna Dalton lounged in a lavish bath, steam curling around her like a queen in her throne. 3 guards stood at her side, their gazes fixed and alert. She looked up with a mix of disdain and boredom, remarking that she had told her men not to admit visitors today. Ban ignored her irritation. His tone was calm, cutting straight to the point. He was searching for a mercenary named Chrysarak. According to the men he had interrogated, someone here knew of him. Anna's expression shifted the moment the name left his lips. With a mocking smile, she scolded him for daring to speak Chrysarak's name so casually. Carelessness like that, she warned, could get a man killed without a sound. Ban, however, read her reaction clearly. She did know something. He pressed her for details. Anna laughed, amused by his audacity. To her, he was nothing but a lunatic. With a wave of her hand, she ordered her guards to tear him apart and drag his body to her feet. The guards responded instantly, their bodies warped grotesquely, fur sprouting, limbs twisting into monstrous wolf forms. The wolf monsters lunged, claws slashed, fangs snapped, and the clash filled the chamber with chaos. Ban met them head-on, striking with brutal precision. Each blow rattled the tiled walls, each counter stripping away their advantage. At the end of it, Ban unleashed a single devastating strike. The impact shattered the bathroom wall, hurling their broken bodies outside. Dust swirled through the air as silence reclaimed the chamber. Ban turned his eyes back to Anna, voice as cold and steady as ever, demanding what came next. Anna arched a brow, amused even in defeat. She teased him, asking if he had suddenly started believing in peaceful conversations. In her eyes, he was still nothing but a brat with power, though she admitted a sorcerer nonetheless. Still, she dismissed the thought with a shrug. Chrysarak was no longer here. Ban's eyes sharpened. He demanded to know what she meant by gone and where Chrysarak had gone. Anna's response was indifferent. She was a merchant, not a storyteller. Without payment, there would be no answers. Ban asked for her price. Her smile widened with curiosity. The sudden shift in his tone, so calm, so reasonable, caught her off guard. Finally, she named her cost, 10,000 gold. That, she said, was the fair value of Chrysarak's details and current location. Ban admitted he didn't have that much. Anna scoffed, shaking her head. To her, he wasn't just misunderstood. He was truly insane. If he lacked the money, then there was nothing more to discuss. Ban muttered grimly about the idea of simply waiting and paying. Anna leaned forward with a sly grin, pressing him further. Did he have some way of getting the money? Why was he so intent on Chrysarak? She teased that his piercing eyes looked as though Chrysarak had slaughtered his family. The glare Ban gave in return cut her words short. His warning was sharp, cold. Mind her own business, or he'd rip her mouth open. With that, he turned and walked out. Behind him, Anna chuckled softly. His boldness amused her far more than she cared to admit. The scene shifted. On Mercenary Street, inside Nordia's registration office, a clerk stamped Ban's paperwork and declared his registration complete. Ban asked how soon he could expect work. The man explained jobs came quickly, but veterans usually got priority. Rookies often had to wait. Ban accepted this with a nod. Inwardly, he sighed. It might take longer than expected to earn money, but it was necessary. Anna Dalton wasn't someone to antagonize without reason. For now, he needed gold, earned honestly. As he reflected, a young woman stepped forward to the counter. She was 18, her name Leon. The clerk's eyes lit up. Perfect timing, he declared. The man standing right next to her had just registered as a rookie too. Leon turned, surprised. Really? Ban gave a short nod. Yeah. She looked him up and down once, then accepted quickly. Her request was simple. He just had to watch her back for a day. Ban muttered under his breath, "She must be crazy." The clerk, misunderstanding, smirked and remarked that if she wanted that kind of job, she should head to the red light district. Leon's face flushed with outrage as she denied the misunderstanding. She clarified she was asking for a bodyguard, nothing else. Ban looked at her seriously, asking about the pay before making a decision. He didn't want an employer who seemed unstable. Before she could answer, a heavy-set man shoved his way into the conversation. Eager and intrusive, he declared he'd take the job instead. Demanding to know the pay, he leaned in close. Leon hesitated, then answered firmly, 10,000 gold. But she refused him outright. Veterans couldn't take this work. She had specifically chosen a rookie. The man scowled and suddenly grabbed her hand. His grip was rough, his voice demanding she be grateful for his help. Leon struggled, shouting for him to let go. Then Ban's cold voice cut through the air. "Pitball, release her." The man turned, sneering, asking who Ban thought he was. Ban stepped closer, his gaze burning like a blade. "Take your hands off my employer. To me, you're nothing more than a filthy meat sack." The next scene opened on a forest village swallowed by flames. The blaze wasn't some cruel accident of nature. It had been lit with purpose. Through the haze, a man walked forward, his calm indifference cutting colder than the fire itself. He spoke casually, suggesting that those still clinging to life could be useful if their organs were sold. A companion asked if this had anything to do with the Leon family's missing daughter. His answer came sharp, confirming it, before he ordered only the 3 best men to stand by. A subordinate bowed quickly, promising to hang the notice and move out at once. One of his men reported they would prepare the chosen fighters. Merkel, however, disagreed. With frightening ease, he lifted the subordinate into the air. The man's voice cracked with panic, pleading to know what mistake he had made. Merkel only smiled, slow and twisted. No mistake, just dissatisfaction. One body wasn't enough. If he added another, his subordinates, it would make the scene perfect. The man's cries were cut short as the story turned away. Ban sat calmly eating dinner. Across from him, Leon boiled with frustration. She slammed her hand against the table, demanding how he could eat so peacefully in times like these. Ban blinked at her, confused, and asked if she didn't like the food. The camera pulled back, revealing the real issue. Ban wasn't sitting on a chair. He was sitting on a man, crouched on all fours, used as furniture. Leon erupted, ordering him to stop immediately. Ban tilted his head, asking if perhaps she wanted to try such a seat herself. Leon snapped, declaring she had never once desired such nonsense. Yet, for a fraction of a second, a smile tugged at her lips. For all his violent habits, Ban was skilled and strangely reliable, the kind of mercenary she had been searching for. Eventually, Ban rose and moved to a proper bench, remarking that his human chair had been surprisingly comfortable. Leon scolded him again, but he brushed her off, turning the talk to business. He asked about the escort job she'd offered. Leon explained she only needed to reach the Uwana Kingdom's border, a day's journey through the forest. Ban frowned. 10,000 gold for a simple escort? Far too much. His instincts whispered danger, either a noble heir running from pursuit or a criminal in disguise. Leon tensed under his suspicion and quickly insisted she was just a spoiled daughter of a rich man. Ban studied her closely, eyes narrowing, until she snapped that if he didn't believe her, she'd hire someone else. He dismissed the idea coolly, saying suspicion wasn't his intention, it would be impious of him. Inwardly, Leon cursed him as an insufferable brat. Ban asked when they should leave. Leon said the sooner the better. Without hesitation, Ban answered, "Then we leave now." Leon froze, startled. "Now?" she asked. His cold stare left no room for argument. Reluctantly, she agreed. The journey carried them into the Gassiolso mountain range. Leon noted with relief that they were already halfway, and Ban confirmed it. Everything seemed fine, maybe too fine. Leon even wondered if hiring him had been overkill. Then Ban stopped. His sharp gaze cut through the trees. "Quiet," he ordered. Leon felt it too. The rush of mana closing in. 4 figures approached. One of them carried power that made the air feel heavier. Merkel. Before Ban could fully react, Merkel appeared right in front of him, only to stop short at the last second. With an unsettling calm, Merkel declared that Leon belonged to the Leon family and must be captured alive. Then, just as suddenly as he came, he vanished, leaving Leon uneasy. From above, several attackers dropped at once. Ban caught their blades barehanded, sparks flashing on impact. One moved toward Leon, but Ban's reflexes were faster. His kick sent the man flying. 2 more closed in, forcing Ban to pull Leon aside to safety. He turned, smiling faintly, and unwrapped the bandages on his hands. "From now on," he said, voice steady, "stay behind me." Leon, nervous but trusting, nodded. When Ban asked if they were just common bandits, one attacker mocked him, demanding he leave the woman behind in exchange for safe passage. Ban smirked. Then hand me 10,000 gold and I'll leave quietly. The demand drew laughter. They charged. Ban's fists answered first, punches thrown like a storm. Yet, despite the onslaught, his opponent withstood the blows, mocking Ban for being just a kid, not a sorcerer. Ban admitted he'd been cautious, just in case. But the insult pushed him too far. Rage ignited, and his fists landed with devastating force. The final strike sent the enemies hurtling into the distance, the impact ripping the ground apart in an explosive blast. When the dust settled, only scattered remains and blood stained the earth. Ban cursed them as worthless, his fury boiling over. Leon, shaken, could hardly believe the strength she had witnessed. Younger than her, yet already this powerful, she thought even her father would have been astonished. Her reflection was cut short by a sudden red flare beside Ban. Merkel had revealed himself. Staring at Ban in surprise, he marveled at the boy's mana, comparable to his own. He laughed, revealing his identity with pride, the mad anatomist Merkel, leader of the Merkel gang, infamous for murder, kidnapping, and human trafficking. His offer was grotesque. Surrender, Leon, and he'd dissect Ban painlessly. Ban refused outright. Merkel's smile twisted. Energy swirled in his hands, gathering for a lethal strike. And then Ban turned, calling Leon out on her lie. She wasn't the daughter of a simple merchant. Leon froze, caught off guard, but Ban cut her off. He wasn't interested in excuses. Seizing her by the collar, he shoved her straight into the path of Merkel's attack. Leon's screams split the air, panic flooding her face. Merkel himself faltered in surprise, his attack hesitating just enough. In that instant, Ban surged forward into the clash. Merkel pulled back his strike, halting mid-attack. Leon was left trembling, furious, and terrified. She snapped at Ban, calling him a madman for nearly getting her killed. Merkel, oddly enough, agreed, demanding to know if this reckless fool was really her escort. Leon, seizing the chance, shouted that yes, he was her hired guard, and he should remember his duty. Ban ignored them both. His gaze was locked on Merkel. That quick adjustment of mana, that split-second precision, it wasn't a move to kill Leon. Merkel's true intent was clear: capture her alive. Her voice cut through the chaos, sharp and trembling, demanding if Ban was even listening. Ban turned back to Leon, his voice steady, almost reassuring. Don't be nervous, he won't die. Before she could protest, he gripped her collar tightly and sprinted. With a sudden burst of force, he hurled her high into the air. Leon's scream cut through the sky as Merkel's panic exploded. He shouted in frustration, rushing to catch her. But Ban was already there. He caught Merkel's leg mid-stride, yanking him back. "And where do you think you're going?" he growled, before slamming a heavy punch straight into him. Punch after punch followed, each blow thunderous. But Ban quickly realized something was wrong. His fists landed with full force, yet something blocked the impact. Merkel's rage ignited. "I'll rip out your organs first," he snarled, and then chased down the woman. It was then Ban understood. Merkel had activated a rune art, telekinesis. A shockwave burst out as Merkel struck back. The ground shattered under the blast. Ban braced himself, blocking the blow, silently noting the technique. The sorcerer's attacks came in a relentless rhythm. Ban dodged where he could, clashing where he had to. Then, choosing not to evade, he charged head-on, fists clashing against the telekinetic shield. His strike was stronger than before, but still, no damage. Forced back, Ban steadied himself. Merkel laughed coldly. "Useless. Even if our mana is equal, my rune arts are beyond your reach. But, join me, boy. Stand at my side. I'll pay you more than that woman ever could. Wealth beyond imagination." Ban glanced at his hands. 10,000 gold, he said plainly. Merkel burst into wild laughter. 10,000? That's nothing. I could rob 2 homes and make more. Assassination, kidnapping, trafficking, we take on everything. And you, with your talent, could earn a fortune. Ban's gaze darkened. Slowly, he repeated, "Robbing civilian homes?" Merkel smirked proudly. "Exactly. No shame in profit, that's how we thrive." Ban's lips curved into a smile, but it was far from pleasant. Merkel mistook it for agreement, confident in his read. But then Ban spoke. "No, I laughed because I'm disgusted with you and with myself for even wasting words on vermin like you." His voice dropped, sharp and resolute. "I'll tear you apart until you're unrecognizable." Ban's words dropped, and in that instant, a crimson aura erupted around him, burning hot enough to distort the air. Merkel's fury only deepened. He had offered Ban a chance, and yet Ban still chose defiance. Their clash reignited, fiercer than before. Ban lunged, fists flying, striking again and again. Merkel sneered, mocking the repetition. "Still with the punches? Fool, they won't work." But Ban didn't stop. His barrage never faltered. And then, at last, the cracks appeared. Merkel's shield, thought unbreakable, shattered under the relentless assault. His eyes widened in disbelief. Before he could even form a question, Ban's fist crushed into his hand, tearing through flesh and bone, severing an arm cleanly. Blood sprayed, Merkel staggered back, and Ban followed with another devastating strike, sending him flying across the battlefield. Even broken, Merkel refused surrender. He cursed Ban, spitting rage, swearing this defiance would cost him dearly. Gathering his strength, he roared the name of his next attack. Telekinesis Blood Bullet. The mountain behind them lit red, glowing like fire as the attack formed. The energy screamed forward, only to be stopped in its tracks by Ban's bare hands. Merkel's voice broke in shock. Impossible. Our mana should be the same. Ban's cold reply cut him deeper than any strike. You thought we were equal? Fool. At that moment, Ban's monster form erupted forth. His vast mana swept across the battlefield like a storm, crushing everything in its path. Merkel stared in horror. You're not human. You're a monster. Ban's eyes locked on him, calm but merciless. It's time for you to fall into hell. With that, he advanced. Mana gathered into his fists, forming the dreaded Rune Art, Asura's Rune Destruction Gauntlet. Ban charged, his fists blazing with ruinous energy. Blow after blow tore through Merkel's defenses. His final strike landed square in Merkel's stomach, ripping his body apart, leaving a gaping wound that collapsed him to the ground. Ban exhaled, calmly rewrapping the bandages around his fists. Time to go pick up my employer, he muttered dryly. The scene then widened, briefly describing runecraft itself. Powers that could arm the body in blades, transcend time, even tear mountains apart. Arts that defied the divine order. And among them, the most cursed of all, was Asura's rune. The view shifted back. Beneath a cliff, Leon sat trembling and exhausted, while Ban stood over her, remarking calmly, "Safe, just as expected of my employer." Leon's anger snapped through her exhaustion. "Safe? You threw me off a cliff. Are you insane?" Ban stepped closer, his fist raised, stopping just an inch from her face. The blow never landed, but the message was clear. His glare sharpened. "You're hiding something from me." For a moment, the darkness inside him pressed forward, but then he exhaled, pulling it back. His tone flattened. "Doesn't matter, I'm not curious." He gestured for the gold. "I brought you here alive? Pay me." Leon hurriedly handed him the 10,000 gold. Ban pocketed it with little interest. "I'll be leaving now." He turned to go, but Leon called after him. Ban stopped, glancing back. She hesitated. Words caught in her throat. At last, she said nothing. Ban's gaze lingered a moment before he repeated, steady and cold, "I'm leaving." Leon lowered her head, reflecting silently. She wished she could escort him back to his family, but she knew she couldn't drag a mercenary like him into the chaos of war. The story then shifted again. Within the Nordia kingdom, inside Anna Dalton's third hideout, Ban delivered the 10,000 gold. Anna's eyes sparkled as if she'd been expecting his success all along. "See? I knew you had someone to rely on," she teased. Ban wasn't interested. "The information now," Anna agreed, but with a sly smile. "Half payment only." Ban frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" She admitted she had failed to uncover Kursarak's exact location. His trail was far too well hidden. But she did have another lead, a mercenary group called Teze. Ban admitted he'd never heard the name. Anna explained, Teze was everywhere in the shadows. Murder, trafficking, assassination, espionage. Nothing was off their list. At their head stood Kursarak himself. Their rise in the last 5 years so swift that even kingdoms danced on their strings. Tracking their headquarters was near impossible. But Anna, confident as ever, leaned forward and revealed what she had found. One of Teze's executives, scar across his face, rune of stealth, a perfect assassin who had never once failed. "If anyone knows where Kursarak is," she said, "it's him." Ban's eyes hardened. He wanted a location. Now, Anna's smirk widened. And according to my intel, he should be nearby. In the heart of Valhalla City, once the stronghold of the Merkel gang, silence reigned over carnage. More than 100 bodies littered the floor. Headless, limbless, blood soaking the ground as though the city itself mourned. From the ruin, a lone survivor fled in panic, shouting into the chaos, desperate for sense in a place that had lost all of it. His escape ended when Haxa stepped into his path, his face streaked with blood, his arm replaced with a weapon that glimmered like death itself. Calmly, Haxa explained he was merely following orders. Perhaps, he added, their real mistake was failing the task given by Kursarak. The man spat back, his fury shaking with despair. They hadn't been told about the monster who escorted their target, nor had they expected Merkel to fall. Teze had tricked them, betrayed them, and now annihilation was their reward for a single failure. Haxa's answer was cold, almost bored. Punishment. After all, they were just low-grade killers. The survivor laughed bitterly at the word, his defiance burning even as fear gripped him. His arms twisted unnaturally long, reaching to crush Haxa, while his allies surrounded him in mockery. Yet, in the blink of an eye, they were gone. Silence swallowed their jeers. The man froze. Too late, he felt Haxa's presence behind him. A swift slash ended his words forever. When the slaughter ended, Haxa stood alone among corpses, his expression unchanged. From the shadows, a man in a black suit emerged, his polished voice breaking the quiet. He confirmed the task, though the rivers of blood were proof enough. Chuckling, he urged Haxa to leave, then added a note of intrigue. An investigation was underway into the mercenary who had slain Merkel. A fighter with black scars around his eyes and neck. Haxa caught the hint immediately. That scarred mercenary was his next target. The suited man praised his quick understanding, claiming Krosorak valued him for it. Haxa silenced him with irritation, and with a smile, the figure vanished into the night. Left with only the dead for company, Haxa lit a cigarette. The smoke curled above him as he muttered about the scars, already picturing the face of Ban. The scene shifted far from the blood-soaked streets to two frightened children. Ofen and his younger brother Magath stared up at a nightmare-given form. Ofen trembled, asking if there was any hope, while Magath admitted he had none. The monster lunged. Then, Ban fell from above like judgment itself. He drove into the beast's body, ripping it apart from the inside until it split in two, collapsing in a heap of blood and ruin. Ofen and Magath clung to each other, wide-eyed and shaken. Ban wrapped himself in his cloak and asked if they were unharmed. Ofen managed to thank him, his voice trembling. Ban warned them of demons still nearby and urged them to leave quickly. Ofen, overwhelmed with gratitude, insisted they couldn't just leave it at thanks. At the very least, he said, Ban should allow them to treat him to a meal. Ban shook his head, explaining he had his own destination, a shop. Curious, Ofen asked which one, boasting he knew every shop in the area. Ban answered simply, the Blue Knight Tavern. Ofen's jaw dropped. That was their shop. He called it fate, while Magath muttered that the tavern wasn't worth the trouble, earning a quick scolding from his older brother. Gathering his composure, Ofen introduced himself as the cook of the Blue Knight, with Magath as his brother. Then, in a tone of respect and gratitude, he asked for their savior's name. Ban gave it without hesitation. Ban. The outskirts of Bogra Kingdom welcomed them with the quiet silhouette of the Blue Knight shop. Ofen and Magath led Ban inside, where 3 boys and girls were already waiting. We're back, Ofen called out, his voice carrying relief more than cheer. A boy named Haxa immediately frowned, arms crossed. Why so late? We finished preparing everything ourselves. Sorry for keeping you waiting. We ran into a demon. The casual admission hit harder than intended. Haxa's eyes went wide. He rushed forward, grabbing Ofen by the shoulders. A demon? Are you hurt? Ofen steadied him with a smile. We're fine. Our benefactor here saved us. He nodded toward Ban. You should greet him too. Haxa blinked in surprise. Wait, him? Why would someone like him come looking for our shop? Less questions, Ofen cut in quickly. Just show him to a seat. Guided inside, Ban was invited to sit anywhere he liked. His sharp eyes wandered across the modest room. So the children run this place by themselves? Not exactly, Ofen explained gently. We live here together as dependents. Not blood, but family all the same. One by one, he listed their stories. Lily, who lost her parents to war. Haxa, whose village had been wiped out by demons. Magath, whose family was slain by mercenaries. We should have died long ago, but the old man saved us. Ban murmured the words back. The old man. That's right, Ofen nodded. He's the owner of this shop, our first benefactor. As if on cue, Haxa guessed the old man was probably asleep, having worked late the night before. Ofen groaned. Sleeping while we have a guest? Unbelievable. With that, he stormed off to wake him. In the bedroom, Ofen scolded. How long do you plan to sleep? The old man stirred, voice groggy. Just a little more. No more. Magath nearly died from a demon attack. At least comfort him. The words jolted the old man upright. Magath? Is he hurt? His concerns spilled out in rapid questions. Ofen assured him it was fine. Ban had saved them. That was enough to make the old man rise. His name, they revealed, was Haxa. Together, the two went downstairs. Ofen gestured to Ban. That's him, the one who saved us. Haxa approached, polite and steady. So you're the benefactor. Thank you for protecting our children. Ban shrugged lightly. I was just passing through. Then, after a pause, his eyes narrowed. Though, something about you is familiar. Haxa stiffened. Impossible. I'm just an old man running an unpopular shop on the frontier. But Ban pressed. Funny, an information broker told me this shop's owner was an amazing cook. Sound familiar? Haxa chuckled, brushing it off. Quite the unexpected source. Then prove it, Ban suggested. Cook for me. Haxa hesitated, muttering that whenever he stepped into the kitchen, the children made a fuss. Ban smirked. Then how about early morning when they're asleep? Haxa gave in. Very well. With that, Ban decided to retire early. Ofan showed him to a room. In the room, Ofan set things in order and wished Ban rest. Ban stopped him. Don't thank me. Saving you wasn't intentional. Ofan tilted his head. Interesting. Uncle Haxa once said the very same thing after saving me. With that, he left Ban to rest. Night fell. Silence cloaked the shop. Then, under cover of darkness, Haxa entered Ban's room. His hand clutched a weapon, one he had used many times before. Without hesitation, he aimed for Ban's heart. But Ban's eyes snapped open. His hand shot up, catching the weapon mid-strike. In a single motion, he flung it aside, his gaze sharp as a blade. I've been waiting for you, Haxa,